Hello, we're here with our friend Bleeding Heart. This amazing friend blossoms in the spring with delicate, feathery leaves, and you may know it in a white or a pink, and you may have spent time admiring its softness, its etherealness, the way it catches wind and light. It stays really soft. It almost feels like translucent, almost like a newborn child. Like how the physical, when it's new, is just very soft and translucent. It's this sacred space of renewal. It blooms every February, March. Well, February it emerges in its feathery little shaking form in leaf, and then it blooms in March, but it's an equinox blossom. It's renewal. Renewal of the equinox, so delicate, of the heart reborn. Bleeding heart. I love how the spring equinox does bring rain and feels like that release like tears. Maybe the tears were held all winter from the autumn, almost frozen, and then finally you could cry and feel and heal in that renewal. You know when you get a good cry and it just renews you, you feel like you're completely reborn. You have an epiphany sometimes, you transform in that sacred space. Sometimes you're reborn in this place. Just like this is that threshold. People wonder why plant medicine works, but look at it. I wonder more, why do we're trained to miss the magic happening right in front of us? This, of course, explains itself. I mean, can't you imagine why taking an essence of this plant would bring you a cure for any bleeding heart that had gone through loss? This is the wholeness of renewal, reborn, fresh, anew. See the heart? Yes, it's called bleeding heart. Yes, this is the time when we do maybe still cry, but of course that's the renewal. We think that bleeding heart helps us get over that stuff, and in a way it does. It brings us into a wholeness while we experience it, and those tears of renewal that we cry in that wholeness are so sacred. Bleeding heart allows us to cry in a wholeness, to be in a wholeness, to be rebirthed and whole, where we had experienced loss before, to nourish ourselves where we had lost a source of nourishment outside of ourselves. Bleeding heart comes and mends that lost piece, that broken gap that can't ever come back together, that empty, hollow, open, oh no, that's always longing so, that missing piece that lost itself, that lost its joy for its heart, that nourishment for the heart outside of the self. And this friend comes and helps you self nourish there. Can't you see why? We can feel it. Even if you've just met this friend, because maybe you're new to plants and you're just drawn to a queer wizard talking about plants, plant spirit medicine might be innate to you though, and you can even feel this friend and what I'm saying to be true. In this moment on the threshold of the wheel of medicine that is the year and the cycle of the seasons, it's a big song. So at this point in the symphony, this renewal happens. It's a spring equinox threshold. So you can feel it. I'm just pausing and leaving space. It's really nice. Golden Girls say, you can make a change. That's right. Physical, as finite as it might seem in loss or in change, You still have the option to choose, of choice, and change within the physical, within even the most finite, the most definitive defined realm, where things just are that way. You just do not have this thing, right? Whatever that is. So finite. Even that, there's a wholeness in that. You can even change the way you relate to that at any point. Even that certainty can be changed. Everything actually can be changed, even Earth. So I like the Two of Pentacles as a Golden Girl response to this. Bleeding Heart, thank you. And Queen of Wands. You know, sovereignty of spirit, of the heart, of this beautiful, yeah, heart that we all have, the wholeness of it. In any moment, you can always be royal and so sovereign and happy in that wholeness. Um, I like the messages of this plant, so I wanted to share this space with you and offer this connection. So, if you get a chance, spend some time with a bleeding heart. Just make space to listen. Come open hearted. Notice how the breath is always holding your heart and breathing from the land, and just be with the land and always know we are breathing with the land. So, acknowledging breathing with the land, receiving that gift from the land where you are, and acknowledging that land and that gift you're receiving. I received the gift of the Lekwungen speaking people's land, the Salish people's land, the First Nations of the Squamish, Songhees, Sartlet, Sanic, Stay Out, Squamish First Nations. This wholeness and continuity and its brokenness is all perfect in every moment in its own way. So, right now I'm getting a message about how healing it is for me as a lost settler orphan baby who's just separate from my own culture. I lost my homeland and my culture. It's beautiful to be able to undo the decolonization patterns of my ancestors by knowing the names of the peoples. That land that I'm on, that's one baby step, being able to say them, feel them, and know in this spiritual way how this land here, of these words I speak, of these threads of knowing here, this land, that breath of the land breathes into my heart, because I know that I've decolonized my relationship with my heart and with land so much that I'm just happy for this moment of justice. You see, it's imperfect. It's imperfect. It's hard to know how to be spiritual in stolen land as a colonizer, as a descendant of colonizers, and a settler, white and male passing. I'm a transgender man, but I'm passing as male. And so now it's even more reckoning with just different kinds of strange justice. So, me as a sacred person, I do a lot of prayer. I commune inter worlds in these kinds of justice. They have to do with the heart. I do believe that um, feeling and having empathy and building relationships through heartful connection is justice. And so I'm part of that movement, and I'm a healer and a friend, an activist, community member. I do kin tending and tend a lot of relationships all the time. Including these plants, I love them, and I want to share my love for plants with you and their love for us. These are our family members. These plants have co-evolved with us. I'm getting choked up. See, I've been really changed by my relationship with plants. They've walked with me through so much when other people couldn't. And when I even couldn't, anyways, the plants. But as far as I've learned it from my teachers, who were so brave to bring this knowledge forward in a time so colonized and so fearing of it. Anyways, I just honor these teachers and healers. They've been our kin, our family members, our teachers and healers for our whole existence. And I'm so grateful that I've been part of remembering that and helping share about remembering that. There, this plant's telling me medicine from my wounded heart. It's just been experiencing a lot of grief around cancel culture and lateral violence and how it affects true love. I've had so many true loves and a lot of loss and change and broken hearts. And it's such a sad queer love story. I'm sure is familiar. Lots of witch battles and true love, and also really amazing ways that people are wounded and that they find each other as a magnet. And that missing piece that I mentioned earlier that we might have outside of ourselves, that this one might help us nourish. That one is really part of that magnetism. Of whatever feels missing, it's sort of a void. It has a magnetism, but then it has this interaction and a polarity dynamic with lovers and friends and just anyone you're in a relationship with, even a job or anything. Anything you're outside of yourself getting nourished by. It might get hooked up in a strange way with that missing piece thing. And so this one's really a good ally for finding a wholeness even in that, understanding that, working with that, you know? It's a bit of a shadow part, right? This one helps integrate that missing piece and through really integrating that grief that does drive that longing under there. It's just the beautiful treasure of you and your creative desire. This one returns this wholeness of the heart to such a gentle, sweet sovereignty. And I love it. And I do trust that that work is the hardest stuff. And this one helps hold it in a real strong, gentle, nourished way inside. In a way that we usually feel held outside by something. This one helps us feel that for ourselves. Isn't that amazing? I'm, yeah, I'm really grateful for my friend here, my family member, teacher, the Knight of Cups, and the Magician. We make what love is. We are the Magician and the Knight of Cups. We transform and make what love is. Each of us, and together, and it's just within our power to have love and lose it and have it and lose it, and this wholeness is possible, is always here in this. You want to cry again? I know how much it is to lose love, and um, and to feel this wholeness. And so, yeah, what it gives is this sense of funny epiphany of being whole in yourself when you're looking everywhere outside of it for whatever. And finally, you can just be so satisfied at just being yourself and enjoying it endlessly, being nourished there and falling deeper and more expansively in love with the universe there, because yourself is never just like alone, because alone is even all one. Do you see that word? Alone. All one. See, I've been alone a lot and in many ways, and had to have so many friends like this where we talk in communion, and I figured out a lot of stuff. We got the pansies back there, we've got bleeding heart. I've spent a lot of time with lettuces and wind. Do you know that word yourself is even similar to the word sylph, Sylph. If you look at Paracelsus, he had each element related to a magical being. The beings of air, of which we really see this one play with a lot, the breath that does fan the heart flame, right? are the beings of air. Sylph, Sylph. Sylph. It's a term for otherworld beings, kind of a fairy. The thing is, the otherworld beings, the unseen, what this is talking about are the unseen in the ways that the other world interacts with us through the air element. So, our guides and playful spirits, benign entities, guides, ancestors, um, play with the invisible part of our realm. So, air magic and self. So, when that word yourself comes into my brain, my magic ear and the self reality, which does communicate with me a lot. I get a lot of messages from my animist environment, and I like to share my inspiration about that with you because so do you. And I want to awaken that for you. This is just a remembering. I'm not teaching you anything. This teaches us, okay? We remember, just like the breath. We don't breathe. The breath is breathing into us. We just remember to receive it well. Mm-hmm. So mostly we just say thank you and we get good at receiving and listening. It's wild. We think we're doing so much. We think we have to do so much, and there's so much left to do. We don't have time to. Like, no, we're mostly just remembering what we're already doing. And this is what it is. It's we're never alone because alone is even all one. Look at how much is with us when we're alone. Sylphs, you're by yourself. Oh, you're by yourself. Right, yourself. So you're with the invisible. So there's a lot of other spirits communing with our realm in many ways. The spirit of the plant is communing with my spirit, and we're talking in the invisible. I can get a message from the wind too if I wanted to, or a tree over there, or from the mycelium if I drop deep in and down and I put myself around. It can travel a little and listen. So, I'm excited to share psychic skills and information, obviously. And just want to speak to all of our gifts and magic that we're inherent and born with, and begin to make an offering to the outer world from my renewals, places of wholeness, to be with the cycles of change in wholeness. This is a friend that I found once that an artist made nearby. Oh my god, it's so nice. Okay, I call this friend Shadrach. If you look up that name, I think it has something to do with the moon. I'm not sure. This friend is glow in the dark, and it's a moon luminary because it glows. See, look at its face. So even in the dark, in that place where that missing piece is, where you're left with that gap and you're staring into that void, any dark, vacuous, endless despair hole, the black hole lives in the center of the universe. It's the place of longing where everything's born. Shadrach's like amazed by that. So the more we can be in the wow right alongside our ow is great. You just add the W on the beginning. See? Wow. And then you can look like Shadrach. And you go through the cycles of change in the moon in a wholeness. You can catch lightning right in your belly where the moon hits. So lunar, you're like mixing with the solar, and you're like, it's okay to be. And you light up the dark with this knowing. And it's like, I get the joke. I was looking for everything outside of myself forever, and really, the greatest joy is just being a self. Because you're never alone. Well, being alone, you're with so much. It's always you. You could never be separate. It's so funny. The greatest fear in the world for people is being alone. But it's funny. We're really facing, I think, I make this recording in 2024, in March, in the equinox energy of the eclipse portal. A lot of people are going through spiritual stuff with relationships and balancing the heart and polarity in relationships and healing duality, healing fear around loneliness, separation, and love. Coming into different kinds of wholeness with the self. We're evolving into Aries North Node and like a sense of wholeness and self. So this renewal energy is so appropriate, and we've got Chiron, the wounded healer, on it, healing the inner child, which is why I'm here with the stuffy Shadrach, just like blah blah blah. Guys, get your own stuffy and like be your own stuffy. That's what Bleeding Heart says. We can. Here we are. It's just remembering. It helps us. If we ever get lost, you can take the flower essence or just breathe with it.